Oh my god. Oh, I forgot I'm still in pajamas.
Okay.
Look at that shine.
Hi.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Hi, Fiona. How are you?
Good.
Hey, Jinendra.
Good.
Jitendra.
Hi, Briella.
Hey, Jinendra.
Hey, Jinendra. How was your week?
Good.
Good.
What happened to your mouth? Sure.
I lost my tooth.
Oh, you lost your tooth. Look, now you're growing up.
I lost it yesterday.
Yes, because now you're older now.
Okay, good. Okay, let's begin. We'll have Briella who will say the Namakar mantra, and then Fiona can say Chattari Mangalam. Okay? So let's-
Acha namari antanam. Namo.
No,
Namo.
Hey,
Namo.
hold on. Komal, I'm gonna give you permissions to record. This way.
Yes. Yes, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, and let me share my screen as well. So there we go. Okay.
Is he Fiona?
Yes, I know. You have to. Are you ready for namari antaram?
Yes.
Namo.
Okay, let's start with Namakar mantra. Briella will begin.
Okay.
Ramo Arihantaram.
Namo Siddhanam, Namo Yayanam, Namo Uvajayanam, Namo Savisamunam. Okay, now Briella, try to say it like in the same tune as I sang, and you can go slowly.
Namo Arihantaram. Namo Siddharam. Namo Ayayaram. Namo Uvajayanam.
Namo Savisamunam. Next.
Isu panjanamo yaru sarve pavapanasana mangaladan cha
Salangan cha sabvesim padamam hoi mangalam padamam hoi mangalam padamam hoi mangalam.
Get it?
Good, very good. Now we'll have Fiona to say.
Okay.
Chattari Mangalam. Arihanta Mangalam. Siddha Mangalam. Sahu Mangalam.
Kevalipanato Dhammo Mangalam. Chattari Loguttama Arhanta Loguttama Siddha Loguttama Sahu Loguttama Kevalipanato
Kevalipanato Dhammo Loguttamo.
Chattari. Go ahead.
Tattari Sarram Pavajami. Arihante Sarram Pavajami.
No. Chattari, sorry. Chattari Sharanam Pavajami Arihante Sharanam Pavajami.
Siddhe Saranam Pavajami Sahu Saranam Pavajami
Kevalipanatam Dhammam Sharanam Pavajami. Good. Okay, now let's start with the class. Let's start with the homework.
Brila starts.
No, you go ahead.
No, Brila will start.
So I think we have to.
We will keep the easy questions for Briella, okay? Okay, so let's start with who would like to start? Let's start with Vishal. Who is a living being?
Living being is someone who has our understanding of soul, capacity for knowledge, and possibility of attaining godhood is someone who's living,
So who is a living being? One which has consciousness,
conscious, and has
One who
the
is a
ability to
knower.
get knowledge.
one who is knowledge.
Knowledge. Yep.
Yes. Okay. Alicia, the next question is for you. What do we mean by a non-living?
The non-living, not and possesses no power of perception is non-living.
That you're reading.
Yeah, I just opened up the book.
Okay, it's okay. It's okay. You can read it.
Well, non-livings don't have soul. They don't think. If I were to put it in plain
Yeah,
word,
they don't have none. They don't have knowledge.
yes, they don't have non-knowledge.
So give an example of non-living.
Or like Pudgal, or like any substance.
Yeah.
Like my body is non-living. Or the paper. Yella wants to show paper.
State the 5 non-living substances or 5 non-living dravya.
Or like
Pudgal.
Jeev mein akalu, a Jeev, Pudgal, Akash, Samay,
Yeah.
Kal.
No, but listen to the question. State the 5 dravyas which are non-living.
Udgal, Dharmastikaya, Akash, and
Okay. Please
Five,
point
five.
out the living and non-living in the following. Okay, this is an easy question for Briella. Okay, Briella, is an elephant a living being or a non-living being?
A living being.
No,
Good.
but remember the body and soul part in elephant?
Mhm.
So elephant living, is he living or non-living? What do we look at? We got to break the elephant, remember?
Mhm.
So what's the living part in elephant?
This was the living part above the elephant.
And then what about the body of the elephant?
The body is not living.
Okay.
Non-living.
It's like a mask.
Like a mask. Well done. So you remember the examples. So we will be sharing more examples. Next is for Fiana. How about yourself?
yourself. Are you living or non-living?
No, wait. Before you answer the question, listen to the question. It is only saying yourself, and nobody will help her because Fiona is very intelligent. So I just want one answer.
Well, you yourself are living.
Sorry, I didn't understand.
You yourself are living.
Yes, well done. Because here we're not talking about the body. We're only talking about yourself, which is who?
Your soul?
Not your soul, you, the soul. Okay, fine. So the next question for you, Fiona, the chair that you're sitting on?
What?
The chair that you're sitting on, is it living or non-living?
It's non-living.
Okay, next again for you, house.
House.
Non-living.
Okay, Briella, next is train.
Non-living.
Okay, now the next is for Fiona, ear.
What?
Ear.
Yeah.
Ear.
Non-living.
Okay, next is Briella, eye.
Eyes, Briella?
Non-living.
Okay.
Okay, now it is a bit tricky. Bread, which is for Fiona. Bread. Think and answer.
Non-living.
Non-living, are you sure?
Did she say bread?
Bread.
Bread doesn't have.
Bread has got flour in it. Flour, it has got yeast in it. So isn't that living?
Yeast is an organism, but it's inside a non-living item.
Okay, so it has yeast in it. So yeast is living. Flour is also living because it can breathe. Okay, so that's not a good. That's not a good way of saying it. But okay, so flour is something that we eat. So is that living or non-living?
Flour?
like the dough for
Arey
the
lot. You know, you make rotli, the lot.
load, the flour.
It's living?
I say, you say what you think.
Yeah.
You think about it.
Does the
Flour is it's
does it flour?
I'm gonna make a guess. Non-living.
Non-living. Non-living is correct. Okay. Next is an easy one for Briella. Your aeroplane.
Airplane.
Non-living, totally not living.
Good. Okay. Next is for Alicia. Air.
Alicia, air.
Air has microorganisms in it. Oh, that's a tricky one. That's not fair.
I think I know. I think
Okay.
I know. I think I know.
Okay.
Living, because air
Yes,
has so
living,
many
living.
yes.
Living. Yeah, correct. Because why it is ekindriya. It is
Oh.
one sense. Air is one sense. So so well done. Next is for Vishal. Fire.
Okay. You wanna say it?
I want to say it.
Okay, you say it.
Fire.
Fire is living.
Why?
Does it use resources?
And they can
No.
breathe.
No.
No.
Why is fire living? Because it is one sense.
One
It
sense.
is a one sense being.
We-
So name the other one sense being apart from air. What we drink.
Water. Water.
Water is living.
Water is also living because it has got one sense beings in it.
Mhm.
Many. So at home, so this is a question for like Fiona. What like drinking water are we supposed to drink?
Clean water.
Boiled water.
How does Nanima drink water? Think.
She boils it.
Okay, so why do we boil water? What is the health reason and what is the reason? I mean the ethical reason.
You know it?
Another
Yes.
Okay, you can tell her. So can I answer? No, just say it. So you're on mute.
I
Ask
know.
her. So can I say?
Can I say one thing?
Yes, you can.
The health reason because you stay hydrated.
Oh, because you say hydrated?
Good.
Oh,
One of a different.
Well done. Well done. Okay, but here I want a specific answer. Fiona, you can try.
For health reasons.
Yeah, health reasons. Why do we boil water and drink?
What?
Yeah. Go ahead.
microorganisms.
Go ahead.
Why we boil water?
Microorganisms do not grow inside.
Okay. Go ahead.
Because there could be what is it called?
Say it.
There could be like
Because
dirty
we-
stuff in the water.
Because why do we boil water and drink? Because we want to remove any sort of dirt, macroparticles, or we want to remove anything
Yeah.
which is not good. You know, at times they've got even water which is coming from the tap is not very clean water. So it could have several impurities in it. So we should not drink tap water. Now, what is the ethical reason? Why do we boil water in Jainism? I mean, why are we taught to boil water before drinking? Yes?
Because water is a one sense being
Has
and
one.
Yes.
it has one sense beings inside it, and we don't want to like consume it and kill it.
Okay, but also we cannot live without water. So you see, we have to have a very balanced life because we can't say just because it's one sense, I will stop drinking water, I will be killing so many one sense beings. So why are we boiling water? Because we want to avoid the violence. So how do we do it? So we use a very thin cotton cloth, and when we put it in our pot, we put the thin cotton cloth on our pot. We like covered the pot, and then we open the tap. When we open the tap, that water will run in that thin cotton cloth. So any jeev which might be there, it will not die. It will all first come on the clean cotton cloth, and then once that water has filtered through that thin cotton cloth, it is in the pot, and then we start to boil that water. So this way, because we cannot have an impractical answer, which is, oh, we'll stop drinking water because we're killing so many beings. We need to drink water for like survival, but we want to avoid the violence. It's not that everywhere. I mean, it's not that that we are trying to avoid killing all beings, but we are minimizing how many we're killing. And so this is the method how it should be done. Now imagine if you're traveling and everywhere you cannot boil your water, because at times it might not be possible for you to boil your water. At home it is possible. So at home we only boil the water for 1 day, for 24 hours. That water should be finished in 24 hours. We cannot boil for the whole week. We can't say that every Sunday I will boil my water for the whole week. No. If you boil on Sunday, you drink it on Sunday. If you boil on Monday, you drink it on Monday. Now imagine you went on a picnic and like maybe you could not boil your water there. So like, do you know what is loving? Fiana, do you know what's loving club?
Closed? Yeah,
Yeah.
I know closed.
Yeah. So you can take a few of that in your hand or like in a small little container. And if you're traveling, that if you put some cloves in your water, it will stay clean for 6 hours. But only for 6 hours. Then you have to change those and add a new clove in your water.
Got it?
You can keep yourself clean, because we have like a virus going around in the world, and we do not want to drink any unhygienic water, because I'm not sure if you have learned this in school, but 70% of the body is water.
I've learned that.
Yeah. So if you drink dirty water, the body will remain dirty. If you drink clean water, the body remains clean. So wherever you can boil water, for example, you can do it at home. So you can do it at home. When you can't do it at home, you can do this method. You can take your water, take some clove in some container, put maybe 5 to 7 of it in that container, and avoid plastic, because plastic is not biodegradable. I mean, it's not bioavailable. So the water in that is not good for us to drink. Maybe you can use glass, maybe you can use steel, maybe you can use copper, anything you wish, but these are the better materials. But plastic is not a good material to store water, because it will not make the water clean. It's like, imagine if like my body was covered in a plastic bag, how would I feel? I would feel suffocated, right? In the same way, the water is living. That's why we don't use plastic. And anyway, plastic is not good for the environment, which you might have studied in school. Plastic is very, very bad for the environment. So it is to do what we can, and it is to avoid as much violence as we can. It is not to say do this, don't do this, but this is just to give you some tips. Whenever you go on a picnic or something, these are your options. We do not have to use plastic everywhere. It is bad for the environment and it is bad for the body as well. Now let's move on to the next question. Okay, anybody can answer this. What is the advantage of knowing the question of living and non-living? Anybody can answer this one.
Anybody can answer. Anybody wants to answer?
I'm just explaining, Briella.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think the advantage of knowing is, before we can really get an understanding of real happiness and our real soul, we need to know what the difference is, that who am I? And I'm a soul and I have the ability to gain knowledge. If I can distinguish that I'm not the body, I'm the soul, that reminds me that I'm what's living in me and what's non-living, and that's important, because unless I know that, I can't attain happiness, true happiness.
Okay, very good. Well explained. Because if you can know the difference that I am not this body, and this body is connected also with speech, with thoughts, and also anything else with thought, speech, and
Conduct.
no, and all the other external things that we see, which is attached to the body. It might be family, it might be your belongings, it might be your money, it might be your work. So if the body is not mine, nothing is mine. The thoughts which are attached to the body, for example, in the morning I'm going to wake up and brush my teeth. So that thought is also not mine, because that thought will go in the compartment of the body. So that thought is also not mine. So which thoughts are mine? So in its real essence, no thoughts are mine. Even if I think I am a pure soul, I am filled with happiness, those thoughts are in its real essence also not of the soul. But to distinguish the two categories of thoughts, if we are to say in the morning I will brush my teeth, or after I finish this class I will have lunch, those two thoughts are completely not mine, because they are attached or they are related with the body. So those two thoughts are completely not mine. But if you're having thoughts that, oh, I'm a pure soul, I'm filled with knowledge, I'm filled with happiness, those are still not the thoughts of the body. But as we are in a state where we first need to think about these things, so just to say it like in Vyavahar, that yeah, okay, we can say that those are my thoughts. Now let's move on to the next question, to the next lesson. Daily timetable. Okay, so now the teacher is saying, boys, I shall examine your teeth and nails today. Ramesh, tell me, for how many days have you not taken a bath? Ramesh says, sir, I take a bath daily. Hands and legs of those who bathe daily are not so dirty. You just pour 2 or 3 mugs of water. That is not real bath. That is not real bath. You should clean your body by rubbing it with a towel. Similarly, one should clean one's teeth every morning, otherwise they start to give foul smell. The teeth get weakened and fall off. Sir, I take my bath in the evening. We must do things at the proper time. Our daily activities must be based on a timetable. Like in school, we have classes for maths, for English. We don't just do anything at any time, do we? No. And we should follow that always. So we have a timetable. Every Monday, every Tuesday, we have the same classes. Sir, kindly prepare a timetable for us. We should follow it from today. Teacher, every boy should get up before sunrise. First, he should chant Namokar mantra 9 times. Now, Fiona, can I ask you to chant when you wake up in the morning? 9 times Namokar mantra?
Yeah.
Well done. Good. You are a very intelligent girl. Briella, will you do it with your sister? Good girl. Then he should think over the nature of the soul in order to purify the mind. Vishal, will you do it? Good.
Yes.
Alicia, will you do it? That in the morning you will think about the soul when you wake up. The
Okay, yeah,
nature
I
of
can
the soul.
try, put that to practice.
Okay, okay. Does mind also become impure? Yes. As the body becomes unclean by the outside dirt, so our mind, soul, becomes impure by delusion, attachment, and aversion. So it is a good exercise when you wake up in the morning when the mind is fresh to think about the nature of the soul. Because I'm sure once we have our feet on the ground, we are going to run around because we want to quickly get ready and go to work. Okay, so yes, as the body becomes unclean by the outside dirt, so our mind soul becomes impure by delusion, attachment, and aversion. Just as our bodies become clean by bathing, so by virtue of understanding the nature of our soul and the perfect soul, our minds also become purified. So this is your only homework. To the 4 of you, this is your only homework for this week, no other homework. This whole week, you will chant Namokar mantra before going to bed, and you will think about the nature of the soul before you go to sleep. When you wake up in the morning, 9 times you will chant Namokar mantra, and also you will think about the nature of the soul. Okay, so let's stop over here, because the other book we are doing less questions because we tend to spend a lot of time in this book. Let's do the other book today. Jane Siddhant.
That book is so difficult.
Sorry, what did you say?
I said the book is so difficult.
Yeah. So now we will go slowly. Okay, so this book is called Jeen Siddhant Praveshika. It is written by Pandit Gopal Das Ji Baraiya, and it is translated by Brahmachari Hemchand Jain, who is from Bhopal. Okay, let's go down. Okay, so in order for you to think about your soul, you will have to know these questions properly. And not only the questions, but the correct answers. Because how else will you think about the soul? So let's go slowly. And wherever you have a doubt, Alicia, you just feel free to ask and try to clarify any doubt that you might have. Now let's start. Let's go. Just scroll a little bit up. We will just revise this and then move on to the new questions. In the cosmos or in the universe, we have six substances which Priyala knows. Name the 6 substances.
G, Putka,
Girl.
Dharmastika, Dharmastika, Akar,
And the last
Kal.
Kal,
Well
yes.
done. Okay, so what is substance? The mass of infinite inseparable attributes is called substance. So here we're talking about soul substance. In the soul, you have infinite virtues. You do not have any negativity, or you do not have any sort of what's the correct word? That you do not have anything wrong in the soul. There's only good, 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 and good. You do not have any bad habits. You do not have any poor habits. You do not have any bad thoughts in the soul. Everything in the soul, I mean, obviously there are no thoughts in the soul. But what I was trying to get at is that, you know, that there's nothing wrong in the soul. Everything is only good, 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 good. There are only virtues in the soul. And there are infinite of them. And there are infinite of them, and so in the soul there are infinite attributes which all of us have, and we do not have to ask anybody for anything because the soul is complete. So you are not lacking in anything. This is what I was trying to get at when I was trying to explain thoughts, but remember that there are no thoughts in the soul. Okay, so you are not lacking in anything. You do not have to ask anything from anyone because you are complete. You are a complete soul. What is an attribute? An attribute is that quality which exists in all parts. Okay, so you had some homework, right? That you had to color. Have you done it? Let's see Fiana's artwork first.
You show yours.
Okay.
Go ahead. Bring it closer.
Yeah.
Can you just?
But as I mean, just put yourself on like big screen so that I can see your artwork.
Let me make sure Kiara's not taking my phone, okay? Hang on. You can just follow her. It'll be fine.
Fiana, sorry, like Vishal, try to put your, okay, yeah, good. But okay, so now look, what is your mistake? Your mistake is that you have, okay, so I asked you to use 3 colors, right? Mm-hmm. So I wanted to see red, green, and yellow throughout the soul. So for example, that Gnan was red, correct? Mm-hmm. So I wanted to see the redness. Is it there? It's not very.
You can't see the colors, honey. It's the.
Yeah, but it's there. It's too bright. I think that's the problem. Okay. Yeah, you can. She put all three colors throughout. It's just the type of marker she uses. It's not very like, it's like a pencil.
Not very visible. Yeah. Okay. Fine. No problem at all. So fine. Let's see Vishal's work.
Well, I did it this way. Okay. In a mistake. So okay. It's like 3 circles, not like interspersed, and it's partially because it's dark in the middle, so I couldn't color it on top.
Okay.
My printer.
Alicia's.
Oh, I was cooking. Sorry.
And let's see Briella's artwork.
Here, you want to show? Oh wait, oh it's right here. Flip it over.
Here's one.
No.
And here's The second.
Okay. Okay, good attempt. Very good. Okay, so now let's go back to Fiana's artwork, because hers was, I think, the most precise one. Let's put that on the screen. Good.
Do you
So
see how
look-
it's everywhere?
Look what she has done. She has attempted to color the whole soul in one color. The first color is red. The second color is yellow, and the third color is green. So can you imagine if there are infinite colors like that, you will be having, so one color represents one virtue or one attribute. Meaning to say, if this is my soul, I have the red color throughout, which is representing Gnan. Then I have the yellow color representing Charitra. Then I have the green color representing Darshan Gun. So now let's go back to the question. So that quality which exists in all parts, meaning when you're coloring, you are not leaving any space of the soul. But what Briella did wrong was she has colored it outside the soul. So that was not what you were supposed to do. Okay, so let's draw another diagram and then try to do it for next week. So which exists in all parts within the soul, not outside the soul. So that quality which exists in all the parts, special units called Pradesh. So like the parts of the soul are called Pradesh. The Pradesh of the substance and it's all its modifications is called attribute. So what Fiona has done is correct. What is modification? The manifestation, functioning part or activity of an attribute is called modification. Now, I want you to make a one table, and in the first column, write Dravya. In the second column, write attribute Gun. And in the third one, write Paryay. So the first Dravya, you will write mango. The second one, you will write pencil. And then the third one, you will write soul. Now I'm going to help you with the first one. So the substance here that we have taken as an example is mango. Now mango has got many attributes, of which one of them is color. So the color will change from, now let Briella answer this one. This one is very easy. So when you see a raw mango, what color is it?
Green.
Well done. And when it becomes ripe, what color is it?
Yellow.
Well done. So in the substance, you will write mango.
I
In
did.
the gun, you will write color.
Color.
And in the modification, you will write green to yellow. Now the next question is for Fiona. Let's see if you have understood. So the substance is pencil. Now state one quality or one gun of pencil. It is easy.
Length.
Length.
Good. Length. Very good. So what is the modification that happens when you sharpen a pencil?
Go for it.
It's first long and then it turns short.
Good. So the modification is that it decreases in length. Isn't it? Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, so good. That your dad helped you with. Now let's try if you can do it by yourself. We will take the same substance, which is pencil. So state one quality of pencil.
Think about it.
Usefulness?
Go for it. Yeah.
Usefulness?
Usefulness, good. So what is the usefulness of pencil?
Because you use it for writing.
Yes, for writing, good. Okay, so it's, yeah, so the okay, but I'm not sure if this will fit in, but your thinking is correct. That the good is actually usefulness. That is, I mean, that is a quality, that is a good quality of the pencil, that it is very useful. Okay, but okay, let me give you an example. Okay, take gun as color. Take gun as color. Now tell me what is the modification?
What?
How can you modify a pencil's color?
No, as in, imagine if you put it in the sun, what happens? What will happen to the color?
Like, yeah, the
will
color of the
leak
pencil.
out.
It
Like
will fade.
worn out look.
We're not, like,
Wash out.
It will fade, right? Like the color will fade. Okay, fine. Let's take one more example, which I think now you will understand. Let's take for Dravya, let's take shawl. Okay, now Fiona, try to think of one attribute.
Shawl is scarf, Fiona.
Like a shawl, like the blanket.
Like a
Scarf.
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 She has no
Scarf
idea.
in German, it's the
Scarf.
same thing.
Okay.
scarf? No.
Yeah. So what's the gun of a scarf?
So state any one good.
Warmth?
Warm, good, good. So what is the modification of it?
When you take it off and leave it to sit, it'll soon get cooler.
Yeah, okay, good. So that is what is modifying. Now let's take one more example before we touch on the sword. Let's take Dravya as water. Now anybody can answer this, Vishal or Alisha. So state one quality of water. Let Alisha answer this, and then the next one Vishal can answer.
Okay. Well, I can just talk about this, the state of water. It's in liquid form.
No, one gun. Gun means like it is sheetal. Sheetal means that it is
Cooling.
Cooling. Water is cooling. So what is the modification? Now think, this is slightly tricky, but it is still simple because we use it daily. So the modification, sorry, the gun is cooling. It is sheetal. So it is cooling. The modification is that when you put it under a fire, obviously we like do not use fire these days, but when
yes, the state of water, right? That's what I meant.
it become hot.
Same thing as the state of water.
Well, the state of water is a change in state from like liquid to solid. I think this is a specific gun which is the cooling property. So it's cold, it's cool naturally, but if you heat it up, what happens? It becomes warm. The modification is the change in temperature.
Oh, the heat. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine. So now let's take your example. So it's I'm not sure if you can take liquid as a gun, but anyway, let's try it. Let's see what you are thinking.
Oh, that how I just meant like generally, like, you know, when you look at water, it'll be in a liquid state, but
and
it
then
goes
what
through-
is its modification when you put it in the fridge?
it be-
Or sorry, in the
or
in
it
the-
depends what you do with it. It could change into like water vapor or just a change in temperature, like warm.
No. It cannot become into water vapor if it is in the fridge. It'll become into
It'll
ice.
become cold.
It will become into ice. right? When it's put in the
Yes.
freezer.
Yes, it'll become cold. Yes, ice.
So
So
good.
the gun, in my opinion, for that is fluidity. So water has a gun which is it's fluid,
Yes.
and then when its state is changing, when you put it in the refrigerator, it becomes hard. So the fluidity reduces. That's the paryaya of that particular characteristic of water, which is
Characteristic
fluidity
of
reduced.
water. Okay, so now is it making sense, Alicia? Has it become slightly easier?
Yeah.
Has it become, because you see, when it is just in words, it is only natural that it'll be a bit difficult because we cannot really visualize what these words are trying to say. But has it become,
Yes.
Fiona, is it now understandable what is Dravya Gun and Pariyay? Fiona?
Yeah.
Do you understand Dravidian paryaya?
But if you have any questions, you can ask.
Then the changes it goes through.
No questions? I think Vishal, you have understood. Is it true?
Yes, for normal substances, yes. But soul is harder because that's a part that it's still a little bit, because there's so many attributes. We have infinite
So
gun.
let's take one by one. Let's take Gnan Gun, for example. So put in substance, put Gnan. Put soul, and then in attributes, put Gnan.
Oh, I know that one.
Okay, so what is the modification?
Sometimes you're smarter and sometimes you're not.
Yeah, sometimes you're smarter. Sometimes sometimes it will go to the highest, which is called Keval Gnan.
Oh, I wish one day it'll happen.
Okay.
The soul thing, like I think I know gun samajh pade, like dravya gun parya, but when we think about soul, I kind of feel like we only know two things: happiness and knowledge. I don't know any other gun.
Okay, so then there's another gun called Virya of the soul. Another gun is called Virya, which can loosely be translated into courage. I'm not sure if courage is the correct translation, but Virya is
Yeah.
one of the gun.
Okay, it's good to know.
Virya. So what will be the modification? Purusharth. You understand Purusharth?
To do something.
Purusharth, effort. Effort is Purusharth. So, for example, sometimes you've got less Purusharth for the soul. Here we're talking about for the soul. We are not using effort to do other activities of life. Purusharth ke like Atma Samjhan Mate. Purusharth that I am a soul. So that Purusharth.
We just keep on reminding ourselves. Sometimes
Yeah,
I find that part so difficult because I know it, but I don't feel it.
No, because the thing is, we do not have enough information to think about the soul. We have very limited, so we need to read more.
Yes.
We need to read more, and not only reading, we need to understand. We need to understand because it is very tricky when we do class. It makes sense that I'm a soul, but 23 hours of the day we are not a soul. So although being a soul, we have got no connection with the soul. We have only got connectivity, or we have got I-ness or identity of just being a body. And so
Yeah.
it becomes tricky because you see, it's almost in a way it's almost like hypocritical that for 1 hour we talk about the soul, but then we do not have any like connectivity with it.
Yeah.
So, in like order to make a connection with the soul, we need to understand what the soul is like. So what is a soul like? So it has got so many substances. So what is the functioning? What is the functioning of Charitra Gun? What is the functioning of Charitra Gun is Leenta. Leenta means that Charitra is not outwards, like we see like a Digambar Muni Raj who has got Charitra, meaning that he has got no clothes, he's out of the house, he's now doing penance. That is not Charitra. Yeah, that is Vyavahar Charitra. You understand Vyavahar? Conventional.
Okay.
But here we're talking about Nischay. Nischay is the real Charitra. Conventional Charitra, why are we using the word conventional? Because there we are associating Charitra with body.
Wait.
We are looking at the monk as a body. And we're saying, oh, look at this monk, he has left all his clothes, he is now holding Pichi and Kamandal, and now he's out in the jungle, he's only doing penance. He has disassociated himself with his family and his life. But that is a Vyavahar Charitra that we're talking about. But here we're trying to identify the real Charitra, the real, which means the Nischay Charitra, which is Linta.
Linga.
Linta.
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 Linta means what? That being a soul. Being a soul.
Like not being attached to
no.
the stuff he
No, like how do you translate Linta? Linta, like a loose translation, is just being a soul, like, you know, feeling that I'm a soul. Like at the moment I'm like totally feeling that I am this body. Are you understanding? So Charitra, yeah, so like Charitra is, so the modification of Charitra Gun is Linta.
Charitra Gun is Linta. So because he's the Digambar Muni Raj, he's always within himself, and hence
No, he's not always within himself.
No?
You see, sometimes even he is outward, meaning because there are two states. One is called Savikalp, one is called Nirvikalp. So when he's in Savikalp states, Sa-Vikalp, it is actually very simple. Don't get confused by the word Sa-Vikalp. Sa means with, Vikalp means thought. When he's with thought, he's outside. And Nirvikalp means that when he's without thought, the real character of the soul is Nirvikalp. So that is when he's within.
No.
He's tyare e leen che atma. Is that making sense?
when he's Nirvikal.
When he's Nirvikalp, so when he's thoughtless.
Okay. And then
Okay. So you will have, so anyway, I mean, the only homework you have is to recite Namokar mantra morning and evening and to think about the soul. So you can keep on reading these questions from question 1 to question 15, because it might not be as simple to keep on thinking about the soul. Now, in the soul, there are two kinds of qualities, two kinds of attributes. One is common, which is called Samanya. The second is specific, which is called Vishesh. So right now we were talking about all the Vishesh gun of the soul, which is Charitra, Darshan, Gnan, and the common ones are down, so which is existence. Every soul, okay, so now this question is for Fiona. This is a very simple question. Who on what factor are you existing, Fiona?
What factor? What do you mean? Ask.
Is it because of your mom and dad?
What?
On what factor are you existing?
I think she doesn't understand what factor means when you say
Okay,
factor.
okay, fine. So let's try to like make it simpler. On what basis? On what basis? I mean, is that a bit simpler? How? I mean,
Why? How do you exist? I guess.
How do you?
yeah. How do you exist?
Yeah.
Because you're.
Because what?
Because of yourself.
No. How do you exist? Because of your parents, or like you just appeared out of nowhere, or how did you become you?
Because you have a quality in you called astitva. Astitva means existence.
Existence.
So
You acquired great-
we learn in school that the human, before he was a monkey, and before he was a monkey, maybe he was some other form which looked like a monkey. But that is not true, because the soul exists because of one quality called astitva gun. So now this is another simple question, Fiona. Who made you?
Who made me?
Yeah, who made the soul, which is you?
No one.
Good, very good. I think God made you.
Did God make you?
No.
Why?
Because God is a knower, not a doer.
Well done. So I think that principle is like very strong in your minds, because you always give the same answer. Okay. So so how are you existing?
How are you existing?
Because of the quality of astitva.
Of astitva. Astitva means existence.
Existence.
Because so that means because you're existing, can somebody kill you, meaning the soul? Can somebody destroy the soul?
No,
Why?
because it was never created.
It'll create what?
It was never created, she said.
It was never created. It cannot be destroyed. But you cannot be destroyed as well, because you see this astitva is in the present tense. It is in the present tense. So you are, and are. So because you are always going to be in the present tense, you cannot be destroyed.
Cannot be destroyed. Answer.
Is that making sense? A little bit, maybe 10%, or to
More.
like what extent is that making sense? Huh?
What percentage are you understanding this about the characteristics of astitva, which is existence?
100%.
100%.
Well done. Good. So you are a very smart student. Good. Okay. So the next question is for Vishal. Vastutva.
Yeah. So Vastutva is basically this attribute of everything has a functionality. So the functionality of a pen is to write. The functionality of a phone is to call or text, or so every thing has a functionality, which is Vastutva, right? So
So
that's
what
the
is the
characteristic.
functionality of the soul?
I'm sorry.
What is the functionality of the soul?
To know.
To know.
To know.
Good. Okay, good. Okay, to know. And anything else?
It
Alicia?
makes the thing useful.
No, but what is the functionality of the soul? To be happy.
To know. To know.
To know and be happy.
To know is correct, which already Vishal answered.
Oh,
But
sorry.
To be happy. Look, I am not using, in the soul, there is nothing like future tense. There is nothing like past tense. Every single thing is in the present. So I am happy. I am peaceful. So what is the functionality of the soul? That I am peaceful. Is that me? Look at the
Yeah.
example that they've given us. The specific function of a jar is. It is not using any past tense or present tense. Is to hold. Water. So how do I say this? So the soul is peaceful.
Yes, not to become happy or to not to become peaceful. It is peaceful. It is happy.
So meaning to say, I am peaceful.
Yes.
Not soul is not a
to get there. It's already there today.
Yeah. So soul is not a third party. So it's not to say the soul, somebody else will be happy. But it is to say that I am happy. Okay. Okay. So I think this is enough for now. You can think on the 6 common attributes. So you only have to think. Just scroll down a little bit. So let me just see the numbers. You can think up to question number. You can think up to question number 15 only for this 1 week.
Okay.
And in the next class, we will have a very easy test. We will have an open book test, but that doesn't mean that you just keep on looking at the book. So you have to study, because you're not studying a lot. You're only studying till question number 15. And in the other book, you're only going to study lesson number 2, 3, and 4. So there's no, I mean, this is all, I mean, you just have to revise. And this revision will help you to think about the soul as you have to think about it in the morning and in the evening. So we will have a test next week, and let's see who comes first. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Komal, I think for next week because Alisha's work is starting on shift, and so
Let's chat about that offline.
yeah. Okay,
Okay, and then you can just message me about that.
perfect.
Okay, fine. Okay, so let's end the class. I think we can have any one of you to say Namokar mantra. Maybe Alisha can say it today.
Oh my God, that's the tune. No, yeah.
Hindu house.
Ramo Arihantanam, Ramo Siddhanam, Namo Ayariyanam,
Namo Yariyanam.
Ayayanam, Namo Uvajayanam, Ramo
Namo
Loe
Loe Sabbe Sabbe.
Eso Pratano Yaro, Savabhava Manglakancha Savesim, Paramam Hoi Mangalam.
Good.
Again,
Well done.
thank you.
Okay, take care. Bye. Have a nice week.
Say goodbye.
Bye.
Work, honey.
Bye.
Say bye.
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 Bye.